This is our presentation on Down on the Farm. My name's Jordan.
I'm Miranda.
And I'm Ashley.
Just a little bit about our concept. We wanted to focus on a much younger age group since there are like the 6-month-year-olds. So we wanted it to be pretty simple but still being able to get that educational value out of it. We primarily focused on the farm aspects since there aren't very many farms around Stevens Point, at least in this vicinity. So we wanted to more focus on like the animal interactions, the different crops that can be used, kind of just what goes on the farm, as well as incorporating the sustainable aspects.
So right here is our basic floor plan. We kept where the house was, the farmhouse, we turned it into an actual like barn. And inside the barn, on the south view of this plan, there is a chicken coop with some shelving next to it. And then right by the window entering the space, that's a bench area for the kids to sit and, just look at the chicken coop. The chicken coop, though, is interactive. Right next to, on the right side of the barn, there is a silo that you'll be able to see. It's just like a wall to depict a silo that you'll be able to see in our renderings. Right as you enter this space, this block is a garden, and it has a carpeting that looks like dirt. And then there will be like little toy vegetables in there that they can play with and learn how to garden. On the top of the drawing, that like half circle space is a cow pen for your cow, and then a feeding trough. And then next to it, with that little like indent space, is where pigs are gonna be, and they can interact with both of those. We left the cow pen kind of open so they can walk in and interact with that. And then next to the pig pen, we also have a mural for corn as well.
One thing about our floor plan is we didn't really want to move, especially the barn, since it is the exhibit's open to the rest of the space. So we pretty much added things that could be custom built outside of the museum that could be brought in, and we didn't move. We actually have a facade on the barn, and then it was painted, so that could all be built outside of the museum. So the previous exhibit could be used while the new exhibit's being built.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't have to be sectioned off from the museum.
So this is our north view elevation, and this is of the cow pen and the pig pen. The cow pen is depicted there with the food truck, and then next to that is the pig pen. Here's the view of the redesigned farmhouse into the barn, and that's the new facade on it. And then next to it is the silo. Here is the east view of the barn, so you can see the difference with the new facade and the silo and what that would look like.
All right, for materials, we had minimal materials so that the cost was down. And we chose a snow white paint to just brighten the space a little bit. And then we used a gold paint and a red paint, which you will be able to see in our renderings. We have a darker wood for all the custom wood pieces. And then we also chose a tile to replace the flooring that is existing, but it'd be optional. You could keep what is already there. And then for the garden, you can see we have a shag rug, and then we also have synthetic turf, which is where the cow would be.
So for our first rendering, it shows the facade of the new part of the barn, which kind of has a more barn shape than what currently is on the building. So that's something that could be built and then placed right on the current facade of the existing farmhouse. And it shows on the back wall. We did something similar to the group before. We have a corn mural, and to include interactive, we had Velcroed corn that they could take off. Something that you don't see in the rendering is that next to the corn or chicken coop in the barn, there's going to be a shelf that has baskets on and things for the children to use to get the corn, get the vegetables out of the garden, things like that. And then the next rendering, we have like food troughs for all the animals, so they can interact that way by giving food to the different animals that we have in the space as well. And then this one shows the garden. We were focusing more on doing a farm field since gardens are used on farms, but obviously farm fields are used more, and it's a little bit more apparent when thinking about a farm. So we decided to go more for a farm or a field instead of a garden. And then in the corner, to add seating, besides the bench that we have in the barn already, we included hay stacks.
Well, they're like hay bales, but not actual hay, like just to represent it because of allergies.
So kids can sit on there as well. So from this rendering, you can see the silo that we added, which would just be custom made. You can't go in it or anything. It would just be representational of a silo, and it gives it more of a farm feel included with the barn.
And then these are just our changes that you can see. The farmhouse was turned to a barn. The farmhouse facade was turned to a barn facade. The garden to a farm field. Forest mural to the interactive corn wall. We added a silo. We had the interactive pig and cow pen. Added the chicken coop inside the barn and incorporated more color and materials in the overall design. So we hope you enjoyed the presentation. Any questions? Thank you.